Good morning, Mr. Michael Manaois, President of Rotary Club, Makati-McKinley. My name is Julia Monica Hadito. I'll be leading our interview today together with my partner, Chelsea Manala, to know
Mhm.
why leadership is important in an organization. I'd like to start by thanking you for accepting our request to interview you and making the time to speak with us. Your feedback is valuable and appreciated. It will be used by our group for academic purposes. To confirm, we'd like to keep this interview for about 20 minutes. Is that okay with you?
Yes, that's okay. We can
Great, sir.
proceed.
So if you need a break or you need to stop at any time, please let us know.
No
So during this
worries.
interview, we'll ask you a few questions about leadership. We'd like to note at the outset that we know what leadership is since it is one of our subjects. But we are
Mhm.
willing to learn and know more about your experiences and challenges of being a leader. Please be aware that there are no wrong answers because you're the expert here and we are doing interviews like this to hear things from your perspective. So we already made clear po about the participant agreement at the beginning. If you have any questions about it, please let us know and we'll answer it immediately.
To start, we'd like to hear a little bit about you po. What's your occupation and what do you do all day on this job?
Okay. Currently, I'm the Global Finance Director of Bill Gosling. But I left Bill Gosling, and now I'm currently the Finance Director of Scalable OS Corp. So it's a
Wow.
BPO company. It's a newly incorporated BPO company here in the Philippines, and our clients are in the US.
Wow, that's so interesting po. Is there a specific kind of training and experience required for your occupation?
Uh, well, yes. First of all, you need to know accounting for that matter. Accounting per se, the recording, maintaining of books, and reporting the result of the financial statement to the board of directors. You need to discuss and tell a story in short. What happened to the company for 1 month, and how will you help the company bring to its goal for it to be in reality? So that's one. Well, in my previous work, should I say, with Bill Gosling, I'm the global finance director. Some of my people are located outside the Philippines, so they are foreigners. So I'm handling UK, US, Canada, and Costa Rica for that matter, and managing also several currency. So as a finance director, well, the main focus is to make sure that the recording of the books are intact and the reports are produced on a timely manner. The reason for that is for the top management to know to come up with a sound decision on how to do things. They need to do some projections, or they need to go to the next level, or should there be any problem or trouble, they could do some stopgap. So that's the purpose of the reporting. But of course, aside from the reporting, you need also to ensure that you comply to all regulatory bodies. And so sometimes the challenge that I'm facing is that since I'm a Filipino, they would say, "Oh, they will bully you because they are foreigners. They think that they know more." But no, I have to prove myself that I know what they are talking, and I know what I'm telling them. So that's one thing. So that's where I need to go through.
So I
Okay.
see po that training and experience is really important po talaga.
Mm-mm.
So, as you come to your work every day, what are your goals in doing your job?
Well, the goal I have in mind every day in everything that I do, I would like to make people happy, right? So that's the main goal. Previously, when I was young, like you, not too long ago. so so what I do is my goal is that, oh, I need to accomplish this according to my boss and everything, blah 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 blah. But this time, at this point of time, my goal is now to make people happy. How do you make people happy? Uh, First of all, you have to make sure that your reporting are okay, are correct. And if it's correct, you could devise and come up with several items for the company. For example, if you come up with a better operation, and then you will have a savings. And if you have a savings, maybe what you could do, share this savings to the employees in a form of bonus, commissions, things like that. So effectively, I'm making people happy. If my goal is to just accomplish things one item, but item one at a time, then uh, that's just a check box on each item. But ultimately, my goal is to make people happy.
That's so interesting po. I admire goals in doing your work. I hope you continue bringing joy to other people po.
Mm-mm.
So thanks for that context po. Now for the next, the following are a few questions about leadership. So starting with the first question po. In your opinion, what is leadership?
Okay. For me, as a leader, it's more of like, for example, for Rotary. Here in Rotary, uh, it's more of a challenge because everybody here are doing things voluntarily. And me as a leader currently, the challenge is some of the people have higher authority in their own perspective rights. They may own bigger company. They have wider scope of duties and responsibility. The challenge is how will I be able to influence them and make them things that we need to do. So that's the challenge. So, well, the only thing that you need to do in order for you to influence people is that you yourself, you should be an epitome of what you would like to do. So you set example. So by setting example, and then you are encouraging people to do it. So that's, for me, that's a leader. You should be the frontliner of everything and not you telling others what to do. It's more of convincing other and getting their buy-in to follow your lead. So that's practically the leadership that you want to be. And to do that, you should be a person of example. You do things, make sure that you are fair and honest to everybody and what you do, and most importantly, you tell them what's the purpose of your decision and why you are doing it. So
So, what is the hardest part po of being a leader and how did you overcome it?
okay, well, the hardest part is to make decisions, right? Because sometimes a leader will have to make unpopular decisions. Okay, unpopular decisions, people will hate you. But importantly, you should have a foresight why you are making this decision. It may be unpopular this time, but in the future rather, they will reap the benefit of it. Because there is a benefit or reason why you are making that decision. That's the biggest decision, because sometimes you will not please everybody. So if you make certain decisions and some people will hate you, that's fine. But make sure that your decision will benefit greater people or involvement.
As a leader po, how do you keep your followers motivated?
Like what I've said, more of I'm in my group. I'm kind of relaxed leader, so I don't put so much pressure on people. I make sure that they have space, uh, and they could make own decision. And importantly, I empower people, because at the end of the day, if you are a leader and you are doing everything, you're not a leader. You're a
Yes
doer.
po.
So what's important is you have to empower people. You have to give them the chance of or head of accounting, it's more of you letting people to decide. And in case that they commit mistake, you don't put them down. At the end of the day, since you are the leader, you will take on the responsibility and accountability of the mistakes of your people. So that's important. And do not blame anybody. So what you need to do is to coach the person of what had happened and realize the magnitude of the damages or whatever had happened. And but that is more of something to give them empowerment. Another important thing is you give them rewards. A pat on the back or just saying, oh, you're good. Ang galing. Ganyan ang gusto ko, di ba? Things like that. And then that will encourage people that they will do more, not only because you are giving them something. So, well, that's carrot and stick. So, you
Mm.
have a stick. Sometimes you need to make sure that they're aligned of what you have, your thoughts and everything. And of course, you carrot giving them rewards. So rewards are in many different form. So you should be creative. But importantly, when giving this reward, you should be very sincere. Like for example, uy, ang galing. Tapos pagtalikod mo, joke lang. 'Di ba? So you should have sincerity in giving rewards. So that's important because people will be able to distinguish or determine whether you are sincere or not.
So you told us earlier po how you lead your followers as well as making them happy. So are you satisfied with the way you lead or your leadership skills? If yes or no, why po?
Well, I would say I'm very satisfied. The reason being is that I'm achieving goals. So my measurement or barometer whenever I do something is that I achieve goals. And when I say achieving goals, me not doing it, others doing it, people are achieving something. People are being promoted because they get something. People are happy. So when people are happy, they are promoted, they are rewarded. That for me, that's a good thing, and that's my measurement of my leadership. And most importantly, when people rose from the top, at the end of the day, they'll become leader on their own. Then for me, it I was able to nurture another leader. And for me, that's my measurement of being a leader.
As you mentioned earlier po, you are more of a relaxed leader. So I believe healthy po ang environment niyo sa workplace. So does your team contribute or help you to grow as a leader? In what way?
Okay. Well, um, well, in work, especially in work, I have a different thoughts. Whenever someone approach me or anyone from my subordinates, if they have concern, I require them to have at least 100 options or solutions. So I believe that nothing is impossible. Everything has a solution. So that's my biggest challenge to all the people whom I work with when I started to become a leader, because I have that attitude when I was a follower during that time. Whenever I encounter a problem or a situation, I make sure that when I go to my boss, I have laid down all possible solution and it's up for him to make decisions. So that's also the options. I mean that's the attitude I would like also to have from all my people. And because of that, I'm very happy and they are helping me because I'm more relaxed. And that's the way of giving them also empowerment. Because at the end of the day, if I'm doing everything like what I've said, then I'm not a leader. I'm a
You're
doer.
a doer.
Yeah. Okay.
So going back to the topic of being a leader, what is the best way or strategy or leading your team and why po?
Like what I've said, I'm a person of by example. So I do it first, then at the end of the day, teach them how to do it, and also empowering them on how to do it. At the end of the day, that's the two ingredient I always have in mind in order for them to make happy. And if they're happy, then I'll be able to accomplish what I have in mind or what are the goals that I'm targeting.
Last four questions po. What do you think is the most important thing to consider when you are making a decision?
The welfare of people who will be affected by the decision that you are making. And as an accountant, in the future, you will realize that the cost. So as you make certain decision at that time, you need not put things in paper. You need not calculate. It will be automatic in your head, and you will not only consider the cost, but also non financial consideration will play as well, will play in consideration. So like what I've said, I always consider the welfare of people who will be affected by the decision I will be making.
You mentioned earlier po yung unfamiliar decision is the hardest part of being a leader. So when you
Unpopular.
make unpopular decision po. So
Mm-mm.
if do you reflect po when you make decision in a particular situation? If yes or no, then why po?
Yes, definitely. I do reflect. And before making a decision, I always come up with a scenario setting. If I make this decision, A, what will be the implication? So if you need to make a hard decision and all decision, it's gonna be a negative impact to everybody. I just need to make a decision with the lesser evil. So that's the challenge, right? But
Mm.
if the decision is making people happy, it's easy, di ba? But if the decision is really hard because it will be a negative impact, but the impact will be for the company. Like for example, sorry guys, we will not have any grocery or ham this year because
Mm.
we are having financial problem. Then I will have that call. Or or during this pandemic, most leaders had a hard decision to retrench people. It's either you retrench people or you close shop. Okay. So if you have 100, you retrench 10 or 20 people, I would rather do it rather than lose all the 80 people with no job, right? So that's the classic difficult decision that you need to make.
So speaking of pandemic po, how did
Mm.
COVID-19 affect your leadership?
Oh, it's very difficult.
True po.
Ah, okay, it's really very difficult because of this situation, the normal now is like this. We're
Yes.
doing Zoom meeting. I suppose if there's no pandemic, you will visit me in my office,
Yes
right?
po. Yes
Yes.
po.
I will be expecting you there and I will be treating you coffee, but or treating you lunch or anything. Unfortunately, because of this pandemic, it's very difficult to reach out and to have bonding with people. And I had in my former work as a global finance director, I didn't had the chance to see my people abroad.
Mm.
I didn't have the chance to see even people Filipinos here in the Philippines. I just saw them in Zoom. And
Zoom.
sometimes they are closing their camera. So I just see
Oh.
names, di ba? So it's
Yes
very
po.
difficult because it will be very difficult to reach out to them. You will not be able to read their nonverbal
Mhm.
gesture or any communication of nonverbal communication that they may have, right? So, and like giving sincerity, it's really also difficult because you don't know. Unlike if you're face to face, you will be able to see her eyes, how what will be the movement, uh, is she or he believes in you, things like that, right? So, and also they will not feel if you're angry. So, because at the end of the day, if you're angry, they won't feel so much because it's only Zoom. So
Yes.
that's the challenge. And like what I've said, I did also a challenge of making decision to retrench people. Those are the challenges of that a leader I had to take.
Yeah. So
Ayun.
despite of having difficulties and hardships po in being a leader, how can you describe a great leader? And do you think you are one po?
Like what I've said, a leader is someone who have vision, and ultimately the vision will be a better tomorrow, always better tomorrow. Okay, so that's the goal. And and who's better tomorrow? People who will be benefiting from the better tomorrow. So if they are happy, then you are benefiting them. So basically that's my goal as a leader. I would say at this time, I'm a work in progress as a leader because I haven't seen a leader who claimed that I'm a leader already. Because, like leadership, it's a journey, it's a learning things that you need to go through. It's a long process, it's never ending. Okay, like what I've said, if it's a um, making things better tomorrow, the only thing that you will stop to be a leader is when you have no more tomorrow. But there will always be tomorrow. So for me, in my mind, I'm always a leader in progress because there will be always a tomorrow. Both a challenge to look and both a challenge to step up, and also a reward to be to cherish.
Thank you po for wonderful answers. We gained so much information. Before we
Mhm.
finish our interview, did we forget something to ask Chelsea and Vanessa?
I think we already gathered enough information for our study partner.
Okay.
So I guess that's all for our interview. Our group would like to send our gratitude to you, Mr. Michael Manaois, for accepting our invitation to interview you. Really
Yes.
appreciate your time and
Mhm.
effort in attending the interview and answering our questions about leadership.
Sure,
It is a
anytime.
it is a great opportunity for us to interview you, Mr. Michael, because you are born and made to be a leader. We learned a lot from your answers, and we will surely apply it in our everyday lives. We will keep
Yeah.
in mind your pieces of advice for us to be better leaders and followers. Do you want to add anything po?
Oh yeah. By the way, just to give you an idea, uh, Rotary, we have Rotary kasi yun yung high level. So merong lower level yung Rotary. We call it Rotaract and Interact. Okay, so let me have this opportunity to invite you to become a Rotaract member. The reason for that is you will learn and interact with other people, not only here in the Philippines, but also other countries. So these are people ages from 18 to 30. Okay, so yung mga kaedad ko, okay, nandun sila, pwede silang mag-join doon sa Rotaract. So you will learn a lot. And also, ang challenge doon is you also learn how to become a leader. Okay, thank you ladies.
Thank
Thank
you.
you po.
Okay, bye-bye.
Stay safe po and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you.